Welcome to Lake Mývatn, one of the largest lakes in Iceland and also one of the most popular places to visit in the northern part of the country. The lake and its surrounding area are home to beautiful green landscape, lava fields, craters and a lot of midges. Today I'm going to take you on a tour around this amazing place and show you all the spots that you shouldn't miss when visiting the area. So make yourself comfortable and let's together explore this unique natural paradise. First of all, where exactly can we find this place? Well, if you look at the map of North Iceland, which you can by the way pick up for free at any tourist center, we can see that the lake is located right up here, about 1 hour drive from the capital of the north, Akureyri. If you're driving around Iceland's ring road, you pretty much cannot miss it, as the main road will basically lead you right through the area. In this video, we'll begin our day at Mývatn down here, and we'll continue making our way east along the lake. The first place we'll be exploring today is a group of pseudo-craters with a very tourist-friendly name, Skútustaðagígar. And the reason these are called pseudo-craters is because they are simply not actually connected to a lava chamber, which means that these craters were formed by gas explosions when lava came in contact with water during an eruption that took place here some 2.3 thousand years ago. Now this place is easily accessible, providing some great views over the lake, and you can hike around the whole area in about half an hour. By the way, I just want to quickly interrupt here and say that the drone shots that you see here, these are actually stock footage. This isn't my footage. And the reason for that is that some of these places at Lake Mývatn, they fall into the category of protected area because of thousands of birds that nest there. And so if you want to fly your drone, the best thing to do is to just go to the tourist center and ask people there, and they'll advise you where you are allowed to fly your drone and where you are not. So I just wanted to highlight that, let you know, and yeah, with that, back to the video. And once you complete the short loop around the craters, there is something that you probably wouldn't expect to see in Iceland. An ice cream shop selling some of the best ice cream that I have ever tasted, actually made from the dairy of cows grazing around the lake. After about a 10-minute drive from our first spot, we'll reach another place called Höfði. This little gem, tucked between the lake and the lava fields, conveniently offers some great views straight from the parking lot, which is perfect if you are short on time. It is an ideal location for birdwatching, picnics and short walks. My favorite part of this place, however, must be the little forested peninsula accessible from the second parking lot, located about 200 meters further north. And here you can find many different paths, viewpoints and bizarre rock formations like these. If you are a photographer especially, you will absolutely fall in love with this place. As we continue driving towards our next spot, we are constantly reminded of the volcanic origin of this area and the sheer forces that shaped it into what we see today. It is really not much of a surprise that once again we found ourselves surrounded by lava. This place here is called Dimmuborgir, and in my opinion, this must be one of the most unique lava fields that you can visit in Iceland. There are a couple of different trails around the area, and you can expect to spend anywhere between 30 minutes to about 1.5 hours there, depending on which trail you choose. Dimmuborgir is an interesting place, but in my opinion, something that can be probably skipped if you don't have too much time. The next place that I'm about to show you has become my new favorite place in Lake Mývatn. And the funny thing is that I actually used to live in Mývatn for about half a year, and I never actually found the time to go there. Until now, a couple of years later. But from now on, when somebody asks me what is my favorite place in Lake Mývatn, well, this is most likely going to be very high up on the list. This in the background is Hverfjall, and even though it might not look like much from where I'm standing, it is in fact a 296 meter tall and about 1 kilometer wide explosion crater, and the best way to really see the scale of this place is from the top. You can access it from 2 parking lots, each located on the opposite sides of the cone. I was really short on time here, so I decided to take the trail on the east side of the crater, which is steeper and takes you straight to the highest point. The downside is that there is quite a deep mud hole that you need to cross first. And I almost drowned my van there and ripped a hole into the bumper, so I would only recommend driving there in a bigger jeep, or simply going to the main parking lot on the north side of Hverfjall and starting your hike there. The hike itself was quite steep, but only took around 15 to 20 minutes, and the view from up there was just mind-blowing. This is epic. Holy shit. When you Google Mývatn, you will most likely come across an image like this. This is Grjótagjá, a lava cave filled with a hot spring. But before you get all excited, just note that you cannot bath in there. One thing is that it is not allowed, and the second thing is that it is just way too hot to be able to sit in there. And one thing that I want to mention here, which I feel like nobody really talks about, is that if you are not a photographer or a fan of Game of Thrones, where the cave was actually featured in one of the episodes, I think that you might be actually a little bit disappointed. The thing is, it looks like nothing you'll see in the photos. In reality, it is much darker and can appear a lot like just a dark cave filled with water. But if you are a photographer, it is definitely a must visit, especially in the late evening hours, when you can have the place all for yourself. Even though you can't bath in Grjótagjá, there is a place just a few minutes away where you can. Mývatn Nature Baths. Yes, that's right, this isn't Blue Lagoon in south of Iceland, but sort of like a smaller version of it. And these two places have actually a lot in common, mostly in terms of high mineral rich water, temperature and so on. The main differences here are things like size and the price of the ticket. At Mývatn you can currently expect to pay 6,900 Icelandic kronas, which is nearly half the price compared to Blue Lagoon. And you can generally also expect fewer people at Mývatn, although it can get really crowded here at certain times as well. Just behind the ridge, north of Mývatn Nature Baths, we will find Hverir. This geothermal area is full of steam vents and bubbling mud pots. You will also notice a strong sulfur smell in the air, which is the mineral dominating this area and explains all the shades of yellow that you can see around you. So it is midnight and as you can see, I'm basically alone here. There's only, I think, one couple right over there. Otherwise, this would be completely packed with people. And so, this is one of the advantages of traveling so late at night. It is yet another otherworldly place, and you are basically guaranteed to come back from here with some really cool photos. And if you'd like to see the area from above, there is also a hiking trail leading to the top of the ridge. Only about 10 minutes drive away lies another geothermal area, Leirhnjúkur. Similar to Hverir, Here you can find mud pools, steaming vents and a lot of different colors. The main difference from Hverir is that Leirhnjúkur is smaller and is surrounded by lava fields from the 1975 eruption. You can also expect to see fewer crowds here, as you need to hike for about 10 to 15 minutes to reach this place. Is it worth it? I would say so, but if you don't really want to hike, then just visit Hverir and then continue to your next spot. This place is just a stone throw away from Leirhnjúkur, and in my opinion, it is one of the most beautiful craters in Iceland. It's called Víti, which means hell, and it is a 300-meter wide explosion crater that was formed during a 5-year-long eruption in 1724 at the start of the famous Mývatn fires. Now filled with blue water, Víti is an absolute gem for photography. And even without a drone, there is an amazing view from the top of the crater's rim, which you can hike up to in just a few minutes. But I must be honest with you here, this was my last place on the list for the day, and it was 3 in the morning, and therefore I decided to just use my drone to do all the work here. But here is at least some footage from this winter, so you know what the view from the rim looks like. So what do you think? In my opinion, if you are traveling through North Iceland, then Mývatn should be definitely on your list. And I think that I spent around 12 hours there in total, exploring all these places that I've showed you in this video. But what if you are limited on time? Which of these places should you visit and which of them would I actually recommend? It is not easy because they are all super beautiful, but what I would probably do is to visit Víti, Hverir, hike up to Hverfjall, and then maybe stop for a couple of photos at Höfði. And then you can continue to your next location. But there is actually one more place. Believe it or not, but there is also this cool geothermal shower right next to the road, which I'll actually let you discover on your own. The hint that I can give you is that it is not far from Víti crater, and therefore if you decide to head this direction, you just cannot miss it.